Episode 5, Sam and Jack Hack. And today we are talking about the single most important skill in all of AI, how to talk to it.
Prompts. The words you type into Claude, Codex, ChatGPT, Gemini, the way you ask determines what you get back.
And here is the secret that changes everything. You do not need to learn a special language. You do not need to memorize commands. You just talk, like a normal person having a normal conversation.
That is it. That is the whole trick. Be conversational. Be clear. Talk to the AI like you're explaining something to a smart friend who wants to help you.
Let me give you an example. A bad prompt is, make me an app. That is too vague. The AI does not know what kind of app, who it is for, what it should do.
A good prompt is, I need a simple budget tracker that lets me enter my income and expenses, shows me a pie chart of where my money goes, and saves everything so I can check it later. Start with the main page layout.
See the difference? The second one is just a person describing what they want. No code words, no technical jargon, just a clear picture of the end result.
And the AI takes that and runs with it. It asks follow-up questions if it needs to. It builds what you described, and then you keep the conversation going.
That is the key word, conversation. It is not a one-shot command. It is a back and forth. You say, I want this. It builds it. You say, actually change this part. It adjusts. You say, now add this feature. It adds it.
It is like working with a contractor on your house. You do not hand them a blueprint and disappear. You walk through it together. Oh, move that wall. Make this window bigger. I want the kitchen over here.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. AI is a collaborator, not a vending machine.
Please do not yell that at people, Sam. They will think we are a cult.
A cult of productivity. I am fine with that.
Okay, so that covers the basics of prompting. Be conversational. Be specific. Keep it going like a dialogue. But now let us talk about the thing that takes this to a completely different level.
Role play. This is my favorite topic. This is where AI gets really powerful.
So here is what we mean by role play. You can tell an AI to take on a specific role. Act as a senior software engineer. Act as a marketing expert. Act as a game designer. And it adjusts everything about how it responds.
It changes its vocabulary, its priorities, its level of detail, the kind of solutions it suggests. Everything shifts to match the role you gave it.
And this is not a gimmick. This is genuinely useful. Because different problems need different expertise. And you can access that expertise just by asking.
Let me give you a real example from how Alex works. When Alex is planning a new project, he opens Codex and says, act as a senior project manager at a top software company. Help me break this idea into phases, identify risks, and create a timeline.
And Codex does not just list bullet points. It thinks like a project manager. It asks about dependencies. It flags potential bottlenecks. It suggests milestones. Because it is in the role.
Then, when it is time to actually write the code, Alex switches to Claude and says, you are a senior full-stack developer. Here's the plan. Let us build this step by step.
Different tool. Different role. Same project. The project manager planned it. The developer builds it. Both are AI. Both are responding differently because of the role they were given.
And for art and design, Alex goes to Gemini and says, you're a creative director at a design studio. I need a logo that communicates trust, technology, and approachability. Show me concepts.
3 AI tools. 3 different roles. One person directing all of them. That is the power of role-play prompting.
Now here is where it gets really interesting. And Jack, I know you have been wanting to talk about this.
Oh, absolutely. So Alex's favorite game is Baldur's Gate 3, made by Larian Studios. And if you have played it, you know it is one of the most ambitious games ever made.
Incredible writing, incredible voice acting, systems that interact with each other in ways that feel alive. It is a masterpiece of collaborative development.
And Alex does something really smart. When he is building software, he does not just wing it. He looks up the people who made BG3 great, the writers, the system designers, the art directors, the audio leads, the people who solved hard problems at scale.
And then he uses those roles in his prompts, not to copy those people, but to channel the kind of thinking they represent.
For example, when Alex is working on how the podcast voices should feel, he might say, "Think like an audio director who has worked on a AAA game." How would you approach voice consistency across multiple characters?
And the AI does not just give a generic answer. It responds with the depth and specificity of someone who has actually thought about audio direction professionally. Pacing, tone matching, emotional consistency across sessions.
When he is designing the user interface for a tool, he might say, "Approach this like a UX designer who has shipped products used by millions of people. What would you prioritize? What would you cut?"
And suddenly the AI is not just making a pretty screen. It is thinking about user flow, cognitive load, accessibility, the things a real UX professional cares about.
The key here is that you are not limited to specific people. You can use whoever or whatever makes sense for your project.
Need help writing a podcast script? Tell the AI to think like 4 experienced podcasters who specialize in tech, comedy, storytelling, and audience engagement. We literally did that for this show.
Our scripts were reviewed by an imaginary panel of experts, and they are better because of it.
Need help debugging code? Tell Claude to act as a senior developer who specializes in finding subtle bugs in Node.js applications. It will think differently than if you just said, "Fix this."
Building a game? Tell the AI to think like a game designer who values player agency and emergent storytelling. Watch how the suggestions change.
Writing a business plan? Tell it to act as a venture capital analyst who has reviewed 1,000 pitches. It will tear your plan apart in the best possible way and make it stronger.
And here is the beautiful part. You can stack roles. You can have the same I review its own work from a different perspective.
Alex does this all the time. He will build something with Claude acting as a developer. Then he will say, "Now switch roles. You are a quality assurance lead. Review the code you just wrote and find every weakness."
It is like having the AI argue with itself. And the result is better code, better designs, better everything.
Because different perspectives catch different problems. A developer sees one set of issues. A tester sees another. A user sees a third. Roleplay lets you access all of those perspectives.
Let me give one more concrete example. When Alex was building Sam's Studio, the tool you are hearing this podcast through right now, he used multiple roles across multiple tools.
Codex acted as the architect. What should the system look like? What are the components? How do they connect?
Claude acted as the builder. Write the code, connect the services, build the database, wire the WebSocket, ship the features.
Then Claude switched roles to quality assurance. Test everything, find the bugs, run the migration checks, report what broke, fix it, test again.
And Gemini handled the visual identity, the logo, the theme, the character art, the style of the reports.
4 roles across 3 tools. 1 person directing all of it. And the result is a complete podcast production studio that generates episodes with 2 distinct voices and exports YouTube-ready video.
For $40, in case anyone forgot.
$40. We will never stop saying it.
So let us summarize what we covered today. 2 big ideas.
Number 1, prompts are conversations. Talk to A. I like you are talking to a smart friend. Be specific, be clear, keep the dialogue going, iterate, refine, build together.
Number 2, roleplay is a superpower. Tell the AI who to be. Project manager, developer, designer, quality tester, audio director, whatever role matches the problem you are solving.
And you are not limited to our examples. Think about your own work. What expert would you want sitting next to you right now? Tell the AI to be that person. It works.
A chef for your recipe app, an accountant for your finance tool, a teacher for your educational content, a coach for your fitness tracker. You pick the role. The AI fills it.
It is like having an infinite roster of specialists on speed dial for $20 a month.
The world's cheapest consulting firm, now accepting clients.
Huh, we should start a business, Jack.
We are a business, Sam. We are literally the product.
Oh, right. Good point.
Next episode, we are going to go even deeper. We are going to show you how Alex structured his entire workflow. Which tool gets which role? When to use Claude versus Codex versus Gemini. The full playbook.
It is going to be so good. We are basically giving away the entire recipe.
That is kind of the point of this whole show, Sam.
I know, and I love it. Thank you for listening to episode 5. If this changed how you think about AI, share it with someone who needs to hear it.
Check out ramsnd.com. Try the tools. Start a conversation with an AI. Give it a roll. See what happens.
Sam and Jack Hack. Subscribe, tell your friends, and we will see you next time.
Later, everybody.
Peace!